What a wonderful program. Give it up one more time for these lovely films. I got emotional. There's just so many lovely stories out there. If I could have the filmmakers join me on stage from all the films, don't be shy, come on up. I know you love to be behind the camera. Some of us love being in front. Hello, how you doing? Hi. Thank you for your work. Hi. We meet again. I'm gonna have you guys all line up here, and I'll be here on my good side. Give it up again for the Filmmakers, those lovely films, and again, the wonderful curation by Teddy. What an emotional wave. I mean, I was smiling, crying, all the emotions possible, which is the wonder of queer storytelling. If you could kind of say your name, your film that you worked on, and what your role was.
Sure. I'm Elliott Kennerson. I'm the co-director of Hummingbirds.
My name is Marc Huestis, and I made the baby Hummingbirds.
I'm close to you and co-director of Welcome to Toolshed. I'm Daniel Talbot. I am the other director of Toolshed. Thank you.
I'm sort of a composer on Toolshed.
I'm the producer on Welcome to Toolshed.
We've got a whole family from the Toolshed here, and I think a lot of people that are supporters or patrons of the Toolshed are here today. Welcome. Wow, what lovely stories. I mean, I would like to know more about how this came about. I mean, as a filmmaker, you're always looking for the story that moves you, to share it with people. And then some of us work on these stories for many months, years, so keeping that drive to keep working on it. It's important to pick the right stories. So how did that come about for you?
I'll start. Well, I live in San Diego, and I work at a production company there, and I made, the other co-director is a colleague at this production company, 20 years younger than me, came to me one day and said, "Do you know about the lesbian seagulls?" And I was like, I do, because I remember the Beavis and Butthead movie from the 90s when they like made fun of it or whatever. So we started working on a project, because it's like, we're both in sort of the natural history sector, which is a super straight sector of the filmmaking business. So we kind of bonded that way, worked on that project, and huge funding story, insert huge funding story, and we wound up being able to make it actually in under a year.
That's awesome.
Well, obviously, mine's a little bit more personal. The rape occurred 3 years ago. I sat on this footage for 2 years because it was too painful for me to deal with, and finally had the courage to do it. I edited it, I shot it, I did everything. There's my name on the credits, period. And I have to say, I almost didn't come tonight because the trial is upcoming. It's going to happen probably on April 15th. And this weekend I got death threats from someone that is working with the rapist. And I've been alone and isolated in my house and scared. And luckily my friend Stephen brought me here tonight, and I'm really happy that I came, because this is why I made the film, and sharing it with you and having Teddy curate it means a lot to me.
Thank you. You're so courageous for Sorry, I don't mean to I'll cover you, but you're so courageous for telling your story, because people like me who have lived through that twice in my life, it's not our fault for people being evil in this world, and it's important to share your story. It's not easy, but it's important for people out there to see it and not feel alone, and not feel that they're not heard, and that they can continue with their lives, because life goes on, and this shouldn't define you. It doesn't define you. So thank you so much for sharing this story. Thank you.
One real quick thing, since it happened in Palm Springs, I feel like a lot of us are kind of sitting ducks to people like this, and so I really wanted to make it more about just me, but about you guys, because, there's violence, as you showed, against the gay community, but there's also violence within the gay community, and speed is such a scourge in our community, and it should be addressed.
I just wanted to kind of say, because this is such an important topic and really close to me, I came back from coast to coast to live in America for the second time, because that festival where I met Teddy, where I looked like this, the next day I received death threats for publicly, opening and closing a festival. So to come to America and now see that, people are still struggling, and, I just lost my job because of an incident for being queer. So we are under attack, but we have each other. We have each other, and, we have to continue fighting, and films like this are important. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Toolshed family, oh my God, you brought me to tears, because just today with my husband, I was like, I want to move to Palm Springs. I want to start a business in Palm Springs. And I heard that story. I don't know if he's here today. He is. Can you stand? Thank you so much for creating a space for people to go and be themselves. That is so courageous as well, to put yourself out there, and under all of these very uncertain circumstances, to still keep going. It's important to have those spaces for people, and then also for you guys to shine light on it and tell the story, because I didn't know of Toolshed, and I want to go. What I didn't see is drag queens. We have to talk.
They got drag queens. They got drag queens.
I mean, I have goods under this that I could let out and people would probably enjoy. So it's not all wigs and lipstick, okay? Huh?
You can come with us out. Yeah, you better come.
Yes. I am constantly doing this because I'm afraid if those goods are being seen right now. I'm not tucked. But tell me more about this, and how did you find the place, and telling the story.
I think for one thing for me is like that, so much queer history is shared lover to lover. It's secreted, it's letters, it's photographs, it's things that then it's chosen family, and then people come in, are their straight relatives, and that gets washed away. And we wanted to capture those stories, and is this not working? Okay.
You keep yours.
All right, that's better. Whoa. You think after using a microphone I would have noticed, but no. I was saying that I think queer history is so often shared lover to lover and chosen family, and not archived properly. Our queer archival is a very niche market, and it's something that's really important because younger people don't know their history, and we really wanted to capture that history. And Rob has created such an amazing intergenerational space. Yeah. It's like every town sort of has like the old man bar, and the young people go to like the clubs, and they miss out on history and love, and like we all are in this mess together, and we all need each other right now to educate each other and to stand up for each other. And like what he's created there is it's a little miracle. It's an oasis inside this oasis. It's Palm Springs.
I just first want to say thank you guys so much for being here today, because I love the tool shed. I love the people I've met there. Robert and Rio, I love you guys so much. I feel like I've got new family now, which is really cool. I still haven't got me to a jockstrap, but we got time, I think. So, but you know, this film came out of Larry Kramer, because Larry Kramer was chosen family to me, was a very close friend, and someone I looked up to so much and loved so much. And when he passed, it was during COVID, so he was in New York and I was in Los Angeles, and we couldn't actually honor him, you know, in physical presence, which I think probably a lot of you have gone through with what happened. So it comes from him, it's dedicated to him, and you know, when I met some of his LA friends, they kept talking about this bar, and they were like, there's a place called Tool. They just kept coming up, and I was like, what is this place? So it came out of that, and then also just about 3 years ago, I kind of went, you know, to my folks, and I was like, I'm just gonna make queer film and television from this point forward, and they lost their fucking mind, and you know, and I was like, oh, people aren't funding that. You know, so I was like, you know, so this film also, we really wanted it to feel, we didn't want money for it. We wanted to like do it out of our pockets and do it with chosen family and do it with friends, because I feel like that's what our community's always done. And so like, you know, honoring that was really important to us in the film. And we did not want to premiere it anywhere else because we wanted you all to be able to be here, so thank you.
I don't know a lot to add. I mean, it was a pleasure to be a part of this family. It has been and continues to be. And I think one of the things that's very special as a composer, it's very easy for a composer to come on after everything's been filmed and cut and look at this thing and write some music. But I got to be a part of this family from the beginning. Trips out here, going to the bar, just getting to know Palm Springs, getting to know guys, and those are meaningful. But I just, as the proud parent of a trans kid, I'm just very, very proud to be a part of this project. And the entire world's going on right now, but it's not a great moment, and we need to be sticking to it.
Thank you guys said it all. Earlier you said you hope there are allies here and not just people within the community. I think this is what, for me, allyship looks like. It's supporting queer filmmakers to tell queer stories. And when Daniel and Andrew told me about this film, I was just so intrigued by the story and the reasons they wanted to tell it and the people involved, and they said, work with us on it. And I was thrilled to become a part of this family, and then to meet Robert and Rio and everyone at Toolshed. It's a really remarkable place, and I'm very proud and very honored to get to support you guys and tell the story.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from the audience that you would like to know of any of the films or filmmakers? No? Well, an important part
Actually, I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
So are you gonna wear a jockstrap when you're fundraising for your next project?
You know, if it gets a clear film day, I'll probably do pretty much anything, so that's all.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Do anything for the art.
More seriously, Mark, I wanna thank you as well. As a survivor, I appreciate what you said, appreciate what you did.
I have one comment though. Interestingly, I've applied to like 120 film festivals. It got accepted thanks to Teddy to 22. Most of the lesbian and gay film festivals rejected it. And I don't understand that, other than it might be too heavy, you know, for them to deal with. Locally, we have.
It's better, it's in a mainstream festival based on everything.
I absolutely agree, and I love your festival, and thank you for doing it.
There's an article that came out on Tuesday that I think some filmmakers saw about documentaries with political content not getting programmed in festivals. And I want to say how much political content I've seen here in this festival. That is a testament to Teddy's programming. We deeply, deeply appreciate it, and thank you so much, because that is a form of oppression and not getting our stories out there, and that we need our stories now more than ever. And we thank you so much for that. And I also want to thank all of our subjects who were so vulnerable and sharing parts of their lives that were very difficult with us and trusting us to handle that with care, because we couldn't have made that without them, and we took it very, very seriously that we handled that as best we could. And we love you guys all so much. Thank you.
I just, because it's really hard to be a filmmaker, especially nowadays, and everything just takes a lot of money. And because, we are in this town, there's a lot of old money here. We never know who's listening. So, do you have anything that you're working on that you would like to talk about for the future, and that, people want to know, or how they think, or even your current projects, what's going on with it next, where is it going? How can people get involved? Because it's about extending the life outside of the screen and how it can be a movement. And just let us know anything that you want to plug.
Oh, sure. I'm working on a film, and I can't seem to stop making bird-related things. I'm making a film about the only endemic owl of Hawaii right now, which is known as the pueo. Hugely significant in Hawaiian folklore, a very much overlooked species that might be in danger. We don't even know what the population count is or anything. So I'm working with an indigenous trans researcher, scientific researcher there, to set up a model of tracking this bird, and to contextualize it within sort of queer Native Hawaiian storytelling, traditions of storytelling there. So I'm in early stages on that, so talk to me, I guess, I don't know.
Praying line, I don't know if anybody knows what it is, but it's the oldest and largest LGBTQ film festival, and its 50th edition is coming up in June, and I was one of the founders of the festival. And it was actually founded in Harvey Milk's camera store, where we all got our Super 8 films developed. So I'm planning on going. And even if they rejected this film last year, I'm still going to go and be fabulous.
We have a bunch of projects coming up as we work together a lot. But my next thing is I'm directing a queer horror film, because this was our first documentary. I normally work in narrative, so if anybody wants to throw some change at a sexy queer horror movie about parking, I'm more than happy to pass that. What I'll say in response to is that what I've learned from many filmmakers, actually, we have a lot of friends here today, like Ophir and Sherry, who are amazing filmmakers, queer filmmakers who have done this a lot longer than I have. Lena, and so what I've learned from them and what I've learned from older queer filmmakers is don't wait for money. And so it'd be awesome if you want to walk up and be like, hey, here's $50,000 to dude, call me by your name part 2. I don't know, but I was taught not to wait. And that with these stories need to get out there no matter what. And so I think this doc was that. We were like, we don't have money, but we're gonna do it anyway. So I love that about our community, that we fucking get out there and do it, and we get behind each other. And so that's what I care about. But again, if you want to throw something at us, great. We'll make a lot of cool shit with it.
I have to also say that my film was made for $250.
I'm going to put my little producer hat on for 2 seconds and just say that we do make films because we want to tell these stories and, F the corporations and stuff. But we also want people to see them. So please spread the word. Tell everybody about the films you've seen tonight. If you're on social media, post about it. If you want to write a really favorable review, you can do that on different platforms. And that helps independent filmmakers so much. So tell people about the films you've seen and help spread the word. Thank you.
I want to say one more thing. This one has a brilliant fucking film that you got to see. You got to tell it's amazing. So find out about that film after.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, wait.
This is not about art, it's about real life. And Mark, you shared something, and a lot of people in this audience don't know you, but they care about you deeply now. And I'm concerned about your safety, and I'm wondering if there's anything you need that you want to put out to this audience who are local people that might be there to support you, to protect you. Is there anything you want to ask of this audience?
Well, I really appreciate it. My neighbors, who are wonderful, put in a camera system this weekend, and that was like the best thing that they could have done for me. I'm carrying pepper spray with me now. So I'm on Facebook, so if you want to, I'm Marc Huestis, Huestis, and if you want to become friends with me, that's the way of support for me. It's really important to me.
And we can get those pitchforks and go to that trial if need be. Like I said, once I take all of this out, I could be butch. I could do some damage.
There are 7 of us that are going to be witnesses, so it would be great for people to come to the trial.
Awesome.
So catch any of these filmmakers right outside, have a chat with them, and like I said, the stories continue right after, and that's what's important about filmmaking. Talking about them, sharing them, telling people about it, and yeah, thank you so much again, Teddy, and this was very lovely. Thank you all.
Thank you.